All right, welcome to reviewing the monster movies. Every movie once a day for October. So this is the October 1st review of Dracula from 1931. Uh, and just really quick, this is my favorite frame in the whole movie. And if I sit like this, it looks like two of them are on my this shoulder and this one's looking into this ear. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna move. This is my favorite frame in the whole movie. So good. Okay. So the matte painting at the beginning of the movie, where they're riding in the carriage, looked so detailed and awesome in 4K. I'm reviewing it on 4K. Some of them I'm going to be reviewing on Blu-ray, but this one is 4K. Um, there's a lot of grain in the image, but there's a lot of detail. They didn't scrub it out, and the grain is mostly consistent throughout. I'm just totally randomly telling you all the stuff I thought. So the bats on strings that they're just like, it was so funny. I love the mood of the movie and the lighting and the sets. Oh, I didn't mention, this is my first time watching this movie. I've never seen this Dracula before, so I'm super excited to watch this. I love the sets and the mood, the candles and the dark shadows, and the fact that the camera can go all the way around, because usually the set was all the way there. Like when Renfield was gonna sleep in his creepy spiderweb bed. I already talked about my favorite scene in the whole movie. I liked when Dracula was going up the stairs and he goes through the spider webs without disturbing them, and then Renfield has to use his little stick to get the spider webs out of the way. I thought that was cool. One part I thought was really, really odd, I'm doing this so that it doesn't get rid of the picture, was when they're on the boat and they sped up the frame rate when all the waves and everything were going. So I don't know why they did that, because it kind of took me out of the movie and it looked weird. So I don't know what the deal with that was. My wife didn't really watch it with me, but she did watch a little bit, and she just said the fact that there was really not a soundtrack kind of made it more eerie and intense because it was quiet. I loved how Dracula's eyes were always like, when he's mind controlling people, he's just like staring at them, and then they do what he says. And they have the light strip on his eyes like they do in like Star Trek the original series and a lot of stuff of olden movie times. And those are 35 years apart from each other, but anyway, same idea. And I just thought that he had such a amazing screen presence and like gravitas, like walking around slowly around all scary and undead like. And it was kind of cool, like learning about all of his powers just as the movie went. So it's like, oh, he goes through stuff, and then it's like, oh, he can mind control people. Oh, he bites Renfield, and then he's like his minion now. And then he can mind control people. I think I already said that. One thing that I thought was really interesting was the widow's peak on his hair, the pointy part. That's been greatly exaggerated my whole life in from elementary school kids with their Halloween costume. It's just like super pointy and the collar's up really high. I think those costumes have basically been a caricature of Dracula, because his widow peak is like boop boop. It's nothing. It's not like all the costumes show it. I thought that was really interesting. And let's see the pink paper of reference here. I took a lot of notes. I really, really like this movie a lot. Widow's Peak. Okay, yeah, so I guess Renfield just becomes a vampire. But like he got captured. So he's like a vampire that can handle the daytime. So I didn't quite understand the rules of that. But I liked how he had like the darker eye makeup that Renfield did after he became like a vampire minion or whatever. One thing I thought was funny is every time Dracula gets out of his coffin, it like opens and his little hand comes out all creepy. And then there's the one part where the camera goes over and looks at the window and then comes back, and he's like standing there and he's like, I got out of the coffin. And it's like, did this guy not want to get in the box and climb out of the box on camera, because they never show him climbing out of the coffin on camera. It's always like, here he is, here's his hand, and then it's like, let's look at something else. Oh, he's out. I guess, I don't know why they did that. It was weird. I thought, so the movie's very, very short, and I thought the pacing of it was awesome. It's just moving right along. Actually moving along to the point where there's a few parts where I'm like, oh man, I would have enjoyed staying longer on that scene, right? Oh, so Mina gets bit at night, but then also she like gets vampires or Dracula's blood into her, and then she's like kind of a vampire, and then she gets Jay Hark out onto the balcony, and she's gonna she's like, look at the stars, and she's like, her eyes get all crazy, and she's gonna bite him. Uh, I thought that was pretty funny. So she's like kind of a vampire or what? I don't know. She's handles it a lot better than Renfield. I thought it was cool how the guy looks up the mirror and he sees that he can't see Dracula, and they just recorded it with them talking to nobody. So I thought that was a cool little effect. Oh, here's a quote. So everyone quotes like the creatures of the night, but I really liked this one a lot. The strength of the vampire is that people will not believe in him. I thought that was cool. Van Helsing was cool in this. He was different than I thought he would be. And then Undead Lucy, they just threw her in. She has like 30 seconds. She's like the lady in white or whatever. She's killing kids or whatever. Like, it's really scary, but it's just off screen. Speaking of scary, this movie, it's more the mood and the themes that are scary. It's not so much really what you see. There's really, anytime anyone's going to get bit, the camera's just like, we'll just go over here, and you hear a scream or something. So it was very mild in that regard. Like I said, the mood and the dark mist is mostly like this image behind me. Like this is really creepy. Like these ladies just in this like spider web, crypty type place. That's the kind of scary this movie is. It's not like graphic or anything. So speaking of the tight, quick editing, I thought the ending was freaking abrupt. It was just like, boom, it's over. But before the ending, we got Renfield falling down the stairs, and that was an awesome stunt. He fell down a lot of stairs, then he like fell over the edge, probably onto a pad or something. But that was a really good stunt. I was really impressed with that. All right, flipping the pink paper over halfway. We watched the restoration special feature, which what I thought was really cool is they said that when they were restoring the movie is they tried to make it so that we wouldn't be able to tell that they were there. And I thought they did a really good job. So I was kind of, I don't want to say disappointed that it was quiet, like that there was no soundtrack in the movie itself. But I didn't realize there's an alternate soundtrack by a quartet. And I loved that music. I sampled several scenes of that, and it sounds so good. I want to learn more about this quartet, see what their deal is, like when they wrote it. But it was really, really cool. Very, very good, moody music. I would play it, but I think that would be bad. So I totally look forward to watching more. Like I didn't want to turn it off. When I was watching, I wanted to keep watching it and watch special features and immediately go into the Spanish version. I really, really enjoyed it. But before I knew there was an alternate music track, while I was watching it, I was thinking of Giorgio Moroder's Metropolis, which is the 1927 Metropolis movie, but with like 80s music over the top of it, and kind of shortened and edited a little bit differently. I thought that was awesome. Like Metropolis is really great, but I really loved the 80s music version. I think it'd be really cool to have an 80s music and like a what's his name, White Bat Audio, just like synthwave music over the top of this. I think that would be really cool. Actually, maybe I'll do it. But yeah, I think that would really like have a cool mood to it. So I thought of that, and then I found the alternate soundtrack, and I was like, oh, it's really good. So yeah, that. Yeah, just another plug. This is going up on October 1st, 2022. The idea is to get all 31 of these movies the 31st being the Spanish Dracula, up each day of October. So we'll see. My wife literally might be in labor right now, the pre part of labor that you don't go to the hospital for yet. So we'll see, but that's the plan, is to get one movie per day of October. She's on board with it too, and the movies are really short, so it should work out okay. I said a little bit earlier, but I think it's a good sign. One, because I paid for the 4K version of this movie, but I think it's a good sign that I'm totally not done with this movie. Like, I really want to go back again and again and dissect it and learn about it and analyze it, and I just think it's an absolute classic. The 4K with the black and white with the HDR10 looks so good. Like, the contrast between the black and the white and the detail was it was incredible, really. I think that this is the perfect Halloween movie to watch in the dark. Totally in the dark, you gotta watch it. I think you can watch it by yourself or with friends, quietly, just enjoying it. Or I think you could watch it with friends, talking and admiring it during it, and also kind of like laughing at some of the silly stuff, but like still engaged with it. So I think you could watch it in any one of those and get a lot out of it and have a good time. So I think it's awesome. Have you seen Dracula? And what do you think of it? It's very old and very slow, but at the same time, the editing goes pretty quick. So I loved it. I think it's an absolute classic. I'm excited to watch it with the alternate soundtrack. I'm excited to watch the Spanish language version with the different cast. And just as I was literally filming this, I'm not gonna lie, I'm thinking of using some White Bat audio and 80s music to kind of remix a soundtrack myself for my own personal version of the movie. So anyway, let me know if you've seen it, what do you think. So that's it. I loved it. I had tons of fun. So that is this version of Dracula, the 4K version. So next up is Frankenstein. So that is due October 2nd. We will see, because we might be having a new baby number 4 here any second. So we will see if we go to the hospital or not tonight. Enjoy this beautiful frame. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.